Hello, my name is Janet Davis, and I'm an AARP volunteer and a member of the West Omaha Community Action Team. I'd like to thank you for joining us today for our presentation with Wish of a Lifetime. We're honored to have with us Jared Bloomfield, who is the National Field Manager for Wish of a Lifetime. Wish of a Lifetime is an AARP affiliated organization whose mission is to shift the way society views and values our oldest generations by fulfilling seniors' dreams and sharing their stories to inspire those of all ages. Jared is going to tell us more about Wish of a Lifetime and the ways in which we can all work with them to honor older Americans. Jared, welcome,
Good
and thank
morning,
you
Janet.
for joining us today.
So happy to be here. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, and it's always exciting to hear the word of Wish of a Lifetime spread through a volunteer's voice. That is, as you said, that is really the dream of Wish of a Lifetime, is to change the way society views and values aging. And the big way that we do that is through spreading the word about what we do and the amazing stories of older adults that we've met throughout the years. So Janet, thanks for getting us started on a good foot. Welcome, everybody. So happy to connect with you. As mentioned, my name is Jared Bloomfield. I'm our National Field Manager at Wish of a Lifetime. And I have about 15 minutes to go through what is Wish of a Lifetime. And I think as I set the stage, it's really important to kind of set two intentions for the conversation. The first intention is to inspire, to show you all how cool this is. This is really an incredible organization that I'm proud to represent. The second piece is our call to action, which is we want you to join our team. Janet talked about volunteering with AARP and with Wish of a Lifetime. We want you to be inspired to action here. And so there's some really cool opportunities to get involved and bring Wish of a Lifetime to your community. And we want to show you how easy it is. So, as Janet mentioned beautifully, Wish of a Lifetime's mission is to shift the way society views and values oldest generations. Really, when you think about the mission and the vision specifically, what I wanted to emphasize here is that Wish of a Lifetime is very similar to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, not affiliated to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, but it's similar in the way that we grant wishes. It's very different in every other way. Wish of a Lifetime grants wishes to people 65 plus, and it's not about providing a wish for somebody at the end of life or who has life-limiting illness. It really is about honoring a senior's story in the moment. We've granted wishes for seniors as young as 65 and as old as 110. Sometimes wish recipients are very healthy, sometimes they're not. The goal of Wish of a Lifetime is to storytell. Every story you hear today is a real story, a real wish that Wish of a Lifetime was able to grant. And so it's not just about doing something nice for somebody great. It's about doing something deeply meaningful for somebody that is given back in an incredible way. And we'll go into that a little bit more. So why am I here? Thank you so much to Janet and her team for connecting me. We connected several months ago, but the reason why we connected is because Wish of a Lifetime is a charitable affiliate of AARP. We came on to AARP in August of 2020. It's important to note that Wish of a Lifetime was founded in 2008, and we had granted over 2,000 wishes before we came to AARP. But we granted as many wishes as we possibly could with the funds and support that we had before we became a charitable affiliate. So what the affiliation with AARP did is it allowed us to not only have the potential to grant more wishes, but also the connections to spread our word. And so thank you so much for listening to this. Without AARP, this connection wouldn't be possible. So before we go into what we do, I always like to talk about why we do what we do. And the numbers speak for themselves. Post-wish, after granting a wish to an older adult, this life-changing experience where we're able to connect somebody with something deep and meaningful to them. We see quality of life go up. We see happiness go up. We see purpose in life, energy. We see people reduce their social isolation. And we know if we can reduce social isolation, we can make people healthier for the long run. These numbers are incredible. They're really exciting. They begin the story of why. But I've gotten a lot of questions from people saying, well, these numbers are great. They're, 90% plus in all these categories. But how does that necessarily speak to the depth, right? That was a critique that we got in the past. And so we decided to combine this wonderful statistical data-driven proof with the anecdote. That's the beauty of Wish of a Lifetime. We've granted 2,200 wishes since our founding here in 2008, and all of them have an incredibly special anecdote about the why. One of my favorite stories is as follows. Wish of a Lifetime granted a wish for a man named Dan. Dan was a military veteran. He was a Navy veteran, served for 20 years before he retired, had a very happy and full retirement, raising kids, working hard, giving back to his community. But when we found Dan, and we found Dan through a nominator, a volunteer, just like you all, when we found Dan, we talked about his story, we learned about his life, and it was very clear that the most impactful thing to him was his military service. And in addition, his wish was very clear. He wanted to go on a submarine one more time. That's where he served for 20 years. That was his wish of a lifetime, was to serve, to work, to go back on a submarine. And so Wish of a Lifetime learned about him, learned about his story, learned about his volunteerism. And we spent a lot of time trying to build out what a wish would be for him. So after we learned all about his story, we submitted his wish to our third-party validation team. Again, not every wish is able to be granted. We do grant a lot more wishes than people think. We're not Publishers Clearinghouse, but every wish does need to meet certain criteria. And we look at depth. We look at personal sacrifice. We look at connection to the wish and the story of the older adult. And Dan lived an incredible life, and we wanted to honor him. So we were so happy and proud to be able to approve his wish, which means we were going to go forward and try to grant his wish in the best way possible. And so in order to do that, in order to put him on a submarine, we called our friends at the Navy and told them about Dan's story. And they loved his incredible story and wanted to work with us. And so they came up with two different options. The first option was to put Dan on a decommissioned submarine. This is like a museum. It's a ship that's pretty much halfway above water. You go in, you have lunch, you experience what it may have been like, and Dan could meet active military veterans. We were excited about that. We felt pretty good about that as an option. But then they came up with a second option, which I was surprised about. And what they told us is that they wanted to put Dan on an active working submarine where he could see what life was actually like in the moment, how it had changed, and interact like he was on a submarine, like he was 30 years ago. So obviously this is a much better option. We were excited about it. But there was one issue with it. And the one issue was, in order to get on the submarine, Dan had to scale a 4-rung ladder. And as you can see here, Dan has limited mobility. And so this was concerning to us. We were worried that Dan wasn't going to be able to do the second option. But we're a super empowering organization. So we chatted with Dan. We gave him two options. You could tell he was really listening, really taking it all in. He asked for a few weeks to consider his choices. And of course, we said, take your time. So we went back and waited for him for a few weeks. Didn't hear from him for a few weeks. And all of a sudden, a few weeks turned into a month or so. And we're a little nervous. And so we called his nominator and the volunteer who had nominated him for the wish. And she went down to his room and Hadn't really heard from him for a while either, and knocked on his door and he didn't answer, and knocked again and he didn't answer. So she decided to go into the room, and she walks in and she looks to the left-hand side and he's not there, and looks to the right-hand side and there he is, with a ladder that he had gone to Home Depot to purchase. And he was actually practicing climbing up and down the ladder. And he looked over his shoulder and he said, "Give me a couple weeks." And here he is a few months later, on his wish of a lifetime, on an active working submarine. So this story just goes to prove there is such incredible depth around numbers and statistics, but the stories, the anecdotes show, and we have 2,000 of these, the lifelong impact that wishes have. And it is so worth a potential nomination. I always like to start with the why, and moving into the how. So when we look at wishes of a lifetime, we've granted 2,200 wishes throughout our history since 2008. These wishes can be as simple as a special dinner out to Olive Garden for somebody that used to go to Olive Garden with family and hasn't gone for several years due to mobility, due to family not being around anymore, due to some financial constraints. The wishes can also be as well built out as sending a military veteran to Washington, D.C., sending a Holocaust survivor to Israel. We sent 3 sisters aged 110, as I alluded to before, 104 and 101, to visit one another. And that took a lot of time and a lot of coordination and honestly some public plane travel. But as long as it's an experience, that's something we can consider. Every wish is different, and we celebrate that. And the way we organize these experiences is in 4 different categories. The first category is commemorating service. So this is honoring older adults that have given back in their life through showing them what their service meant to the world. Typically, this is veterans. This is sending a military veteran to DC. This is sending Lieutenant Colonel Harvey, who's a Tuskegee Airman, to Nellis Air Force Base to be honored for his service. This is honoring the men that stormed the beaches of Normandy by sending them to Normandy. But it also can be sending police officers back to their police station, firefighters back to their fire station, teachers back to their schools, showing people what their service to their country and their community truly meant. So my favorite of the 4 categories is connecting loved ones. This is honoring older adults through bringing them back together with family. That might be as simple as friends seeing each other after 30 years. We've had ex-boyfriends and girlfriends seeing one another after a very long hiatus. Typically, we see grandparents meeting grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Connecting loved ones has always been an incredibly popular category, but especially due to COVID, this is something that we're so proud of our ability to do. If you haven't seen somebody since the beginning of the pandemic, you are eligible to apply for a connecting loved ones wish under this category. Renewing and celebrating passions. This is our third of 4 categories. This is honoring people with something that they used to love to do that for some reason they are not able to do it anymore. And it could be as simple as Sue's wish here. Sue's wish of a lifetime was to feed the baby animals at a local reservation, a local farm. She grew up feeding animals and absolutely loved it. But due to life circumstances and busy schedules, she was forced to move into the city and worked really, really hard to support her family and could never afford to go back to feed the animals. And here, wish of a lifetime was sending her for 10 days to interact with the animals. One of my other favorite renewing and celebrating passions wish is we had an older adult that was a performer with his wife. Him and his wife traveled all around Colorado. She was a singer. He was actually a clown. He was a performer, and they'd perform at local community centers. And after his wife died, he lost the nerve, the confidence to perform again. But he always wanted to try. So Wish of a Lifetime hired a few music students from the University of Denver, and he put on a show locally at Christmas in 2017 in front of 120 people, really connecting him with something that he thought he had lost. So the fourth category is fulfilling lifelong dreams. And as I think you've probably seen, all of the wishes that we do, they have a specific, unique, and deep connection. We also believe if you've always wanted to fly in a fighter jet and you're 97 like Jack is, we wanted to honor his wish. If you're 102 and always wanted to throw out a first pitch at a baseball game, like our friend Luis was, who threw out the first pitch at a Minnesota Twins game in 2018, we'd love to honor you through doing that. If you are 99 and you're a Holocaust survivor and your wish is to go on a hot air balloon because you feel like that's the last adventure you have not done, boy, we'd be honored. And we have granted those fulfilling lifelong dreams, once in a lifetime, bucket list type wishes. So I have 2 minutes left, and then I know we'll bring Janet in for a couple questions. But I really wanted to skip ahead here, if my little computer works, and talk about the call to action. First of all, we'll put my information in the chat. My email is jared@wishofaLifetime.org. If you'd like to join our longer presentation, I have six great videos to show and lots of other stories to tell specific to our guidelines and our process. But our call to action here is for you all to join us, for you to help find a wish. All of these wishes came in through our local and national connections. And so it is our hope that you reach out to us, you sign up to learn more about this process. What goes into a wish? Here's some qualifications. Minimum age of 65. There's some other things that we look for specific to story and depth of connection and length of service. And so our hope, the call to action, is for you to visit us at www.wishofalifetime.org/submit-a-wish. Or, of course, you can email me directly at jared@wishofalifetime.org. Our hope, especially post-pandemic, is to bring wishes in. So whether it's a neighbor, a family member, a loved one, a stranger that you meet on the bus, we're looking to bring more wishes in, and we need your help to do it. So there's so much more information that I look forward to sending you all personally. Our job at Wish of a Lifetime is to train volunteers to find these wishes and bring them in. And so for you all being grassroots, on the ground ambassadors, so important to our mission. And for that, I thank you. And I thank you for listening to this 15-minute presentation, and Janet and her team for allowing me to chat with you all. So with that said, I welcome Janet back into the discussion and really excited to answer a few questions and continue the dialogue.
Thank you, Jared. That was a great summary of what I heard before. And I've also gone to your website to look at the website and everything that's available and everything we can do. I see we have the address of where we can submit a wish. Is that the same place we would go if we wanted to nominate someone?
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's a great question. So some people submit a wish for themselves. You can always self-nominate, or you can nominate for an older adult. It's the exact same process, and it's the same application.
Okay. I just wanted to double check to make sure. The questions that I had jotted down, you've pretty much all answered. And so, but one thing that I didn't hear you mention, and I don't know but I wanted to ask, you said that you are a 501c3 organization. Is there a way, if someone wanted to donate to help make these wishes possible, would you go to the website to do that also, Jared?
Yeah. So absolutely. If you want to learn more about being part of our team, and that means volunteering, that also means reposting messaging on social media that you'll see on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. But it also does mean donating as well. On our website, there's a big donate tab where you can learn more about joining our team and helping us to grant more wishes. Thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. I had noticed that there, but I wanted you to make it clear on how we would do that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And I really don't have anything else. Is there a final thing that you would like to pass on to people?
Yeah, I think for me, it's really about activation. What's so cool about this is that it's so easy. The application, as you've probably seen, Janet, is very short. It's 5 questions. If you need help with the application, we flashed my email address on there. That's my direct email address. We'd be more than happy to help you input that application. We're in this interesting place where we're looking for deep grassroots support. So if you were moved by what I said at all and you want to submit an application, go online. It's that easy. If you want to learn more, we're very accessible, and it's our entire job to train volunteers to spread the word. Wish of a Lifetime is an amazing concept, but it only works if volunteers buy in. And so that's my call to action. If you have questions, please reach out. Don't be a stranger. We're so excited to work with anybody that feels moved to move forward with us.
Thank you. And I think that's a good reminder for us to remember that you're never too old to volunteer. There's always something that you can do, even if you're homebound. There's organizations out there, including yours, I'm sure, that can help you become a part of something to remain active and to keep our minds working. So our minds and our bodies both working as we get older.
And I would just say one thing, for our older volunteers, those are the volunteers we're looking for the most, because these are volunteers that have typically been in their community for a little bit longer.
Exactly.
And have those connections that, again, I'm in Denver, Colorado today. We don't have, I don't know what's going on right in your community, but you all do. And so that grassroots ear to the ground is so helpful. Right. Thanks for bringing that up, Janet.
Boots on the ground and knowledge in the head can help you accomplish a lot of things, can't they? Okay. If you'd like more information, we've flashed several addresses across the screen, but you can always go to aarp.org/NE for Nebraska, but aarp.org/NE to get more information about Wish of a Lifetime or AARP Nebraska if you are interested. Thank you, Jared. I really appreciate you coming on here today and sharing with us. And we appreciate all of those out there who hear this message and can help someone get the wish that they've always wanted. It's kind of a fulfill my bucket list, isn't it?
Right. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Janet. Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you.